What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nick Tech channel. I am your host, but actually I'm not the host today. Let's try that again. Welcome back, everybody, to the Nick Tech channel. It's me, the Nick Tech CEO, with my host.
We are co-hosts.
Are we co-hosts?
Yeah, because we go back and forth.
Okay, let's try this one more time. Welcome back, everybody, to the Nick Tech channel. I'm a guy.
You can just say, I'm Nick.
I'm the Nick Tech CEO. I'm the CEO of the podcast. Here with my co-host,
Megan.
Let's go. All right, now you take it away.
It's me, Megan, and I'm here with a freaking story.
A freaking story?
Okay, so this is a story about confidence.
Sweet.
And compulsive lying.
Oh.
All right, so it's December 2014.
Oh. Okay.
17-year-old Malachi Love-Robinson arrives at St. Mary's Medical Center in West Palm Beach, Florida, with a stethoscope.
Malachi?
Yeah.
Repeat the name?
Malachi Love-Robinson.
Malachi Love-Robinson.
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 It's a hyphenated name.
Sure. All right.
He's got a stethoscope, a face mask, and a freshly stolen lab coat with the St. Mary's logo and the word anesthesiology embroidered on it.
Oh, boy.
Babyface Malachi starts referring to himself as...
Oh, that's so awkward. Continue.
Babyface Malachi starts referring to himself as Dr. Robinson and walks around the medical office, accesses secure locations, and even enters patients' rooms. This goes on for a month. No one noticed.
You know, I have heard a story similar to this.
Is it Dookie Howser?
I don't know. Some social engineer that was like considered the greatest hacker of all time, but it was all just social engineering. And he like impersonated a doctor and a pilot and all kinds of other stuff. So I guess this doesn't surprise me.
Is this the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Catch Me If You Can?
I don't know. Maybe that could have been a movie about this person, but I have no idea.
Well, this wasn't a movie. That wasn't a movie about Malachi.
Okay. Continue.
So it isn't until January 13th, 2015, an entire month after he started the charade, that a patient finally alerts staff at the OBGYN office that a young man who appears to be a child was dressed as a doctor and was in their exam room. So the police are called. Malachi tries to leave the hospital, but the police show up and detain him. And I really don't know how he wasn't found out sooner, because he looks like an actual baby. Like,
okay.
He literally is a baby faced. And I really think that the only reason that somebody actually pointed him out was that he was in an OBGYN and his coat said anesthesiology. And there's no reason an anesthesiologist would be in an OBGYN. That's where, people get their pap smears and get their ultrasounds for their babies. They don't need anesthesiologists. It's not usually an open surgery type thing.
Jeez, okay.
Okay, so anyway, while he tries to leave and he ends up being caught while he's headed out. And while being questioned, he tells the police that he has been a doctor for, quote, years.
Years.
He's 17. He's been a doctor for years.
Years.
His whole family knows him as a doctor.
What?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's what he tells the police.
That's what he tells them. I was like, I fully believe that his family was like, you can be whatever you want to be.
Malachi,
and that's why we named you Malachi instead of Malachant. What? I don't know. Anyway.
So the police search his car and find out that, just for safe measure, our boy has a second white coat with natural medicine stitched on it.
Oh, nice.
And a pair of black scrubs.
Oh.
And the police are also alerted later that the real doctor, Dr. Kent, found a note on his desk written by Malachi asking him if he could, quote, shadow him.
Okay.
He never actually got permission from anybody, and nobody actually knew him. He was just walking around like in a lab coat. Apparently the security guards were like, yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
doctors. I've seen him use a badge to get into places. Like, nobody
What?
thought anything of it.
Yeah. When was this again? What year?
2014.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna be like 1950. Okay, this is 2014.
No.
Sure, in Florida.
In Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. Florida man poses
Florida
as
man.
Florida child poses
Florida
as doctor. So, okay, since he's a minor, the police are like, okay, well, we'll let you off with a warning. Just don't do it
What?
again.
What?
And
I guess if he didn't cause any problems, but okay,
Right.
sure.
so he didn't actually do anything, and apparently he didn't examine any patients. It was just that somebody saw him in a lab coat walking around a hospital and was like, that ain't right.
That's not. Yeah.
But they interview his parents because he's a minor, and his mother says that he was diagnosed with some kind of personality disorder. We don't know what it was because this happened when he was a minor, so they couldn't disclose what it was. And he was under the care of a doctor at the time, but he refused to take his medication. So it was a known issue, and unfortunately, a recurring one.
Solid.
Yeah. So 10 months later, Malachi is 18. He's now an adult. He's caught working as a massage therapist at a rehabilitation facility.
Oh yes, my guy.
He knew how to get in there.
Oh yes, sir.
So he worked there for a few months.
Oh, he worked him.
Yeah.
He worked there. He did it.
Yep.
Okay.
The Florida Department of Health received an anonymous tip about him being unlicensed and untrained.
Okay.
So, again, our boy is like, okay, I'm a doctor. And then somebody's like, you're not a doctor. And he's like, well,
Actually, I am.
So, December 2nd, 2015, like basically a year after he started his doctor career.
His career as a doctor.
His self-given doctor career. He received a cease and desist letter from the Department of Health of Florida. But surprise, surprise, the letter did not make him cease or desist.
Okay.
Boy took it a step further. So this time, he started a business.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
He incorporated. He made his own LLC. And he made a very realistic looking website with like actual headshots with him in his lab coat and stethoscope.
Oh my gosh.
And unfortunately, this website is found by 86-year-old Anita Morrison in her search for a doctor using natural therapies to cure her severe stomach pain.
Okay. 86?
86-year-old woman.
How did she get on the internet? What grandson was like, here, check this out? And she was like, oh, lovely.
Oh no.
This guy's obviously. Okay.
Right. Well, it is true that like the older population is the most targeted for
Fraud.
social engineers and fraud and scams and phishing attempts. But Malachi sincerely thought he was like trying to help people, and he like really believed he was a doctor using natural remedies. So he made 5 visits to her house.
Oh.
And diagnosed her with, do you want to guess? She had stomach pains.
Colon cancer.
No, try again. One more. You can get it. I'm sure you can. You're a smart guy. Just like Malachi. He's a really smart guy.
He said that she needed a lobotomy.
That's right. He diagnosed her with arthritis. And her main symptom was stomach pain. That's right. Yep, that makes sense.
Arthritis, yeah.
That's a joint thing. has nothing to do with the stomach, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So he starts selling her natural vitamins.
Oh, yes.
And I really wish that they were just like gummy bears or something harmless. But I think that he actually gave her real medication that doesn't treat stomach.
How did he get medication?
Over the counter stuff. He probably gave her just like ibuprofen and put it in a different bottle. I don't know. But it obviously didn't help. And if anything, made it worse because eventually in his last visit with Anita, she got so sick that he actually had to call an ambulance.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
An ambulance to take her to a real hospital with real doctors. But of course, as a doctor would do, he told her to leave her purse and keys behind with him.
Oh my gosh.
So while Anita's in the hospital,
The greatest criminal.
the good Dr. Malachi
Oh, yes.
clears out her bank account
Oh my gosh.
to pay off his car loan.
Oh no. Well, why did he need to do that? He could have just taken her car too.
He had her keys. Yeah, he forged 3 checks for $2,800 to himself on top of the $3,500 that she paid him already for the vitamins and the service.
Oh my gosh.
5 visits and some vitamins for
Some
$3,500 for some Flintstones gummies.
He said, eat 12 of these 6 times a day.
He gave her red hot candies.
Oh no.
For her stomach pain.
Imagine, dude, imagine. Give me some Werther's Originals. Would you like some Werther's Originals?
They were actually just butterscotch candy.
Butterscotch. But he just told her to eat an absurd amount of them. And so her stomach pain just got even worse. Just consuming mass amounts of sugar. She was probably diabetic.
Yeah, probably.
Oh no. Oh my gosh.
He probably gave her aspirin or like ibuprofen or something that would have like upset the stomach even more. Like that's something he would have access to. But I mean, the fact that he made it this far with his own like LLC and everything, like I wouldn't put it past him that he also forged prescription notes to get actual prescription medication. But I feel like if he was really that smart and wanted all of the money, he could have just like written prescriptions for, you know, actual like hard drugs, like painkillers, and sold those.
Okay, wow.
Well, that wasn't enough to like say, hey, Malachi, you just put a woman in the hospital. Maybe you should take a step back from the doctoring thing. You know,
This is great. This worked out perfectly. What are you talking about?
It's so funny because like if you saw the videos and everything, like he would have responded to that with, yes, this was definitely a setback, but I do believe that I do have the qualifications, and this happens to any doctor. Any doctor has sick patients, and well, I do have training, and I do have 2 degrees, and
oh my gosh,
I will continue my education and my time as a doctor.
did this guy wind up on like Dr. Phil?
Also not a real doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil, we should do a whole episode on him because
Dr. Phil.
he did have a doctorate and he was a doctor of psychology, but as soon as he started doing his whole TV thing, it, you know, messed with the whole patient confidentiality thing, and his license was revoked. Anyway, so in January 2016, the month after he put Anita in the hospital, Malachi opened his practice for real in a building. Like he had a whole office space. It was called the New Birth New Life Medical Center and Urgent Care LLC.
Oh my gosh, he called it an urgent care?
He
my
actually was
gosh.
set up to accept Medicaid and Medicare.
What? What?
Yeah, and I want to be surprised that he made it this far, but it is the state of Florida that he fooled.
Oh my gosh.
So he was listed on the website as the president, CEO, and founder with a PhD, HHP-C, and an AMP-C.
Okay, I have no idea if those are even things or not.
Well,
Or if he's claiming to have these things, or if they're just not even real.
I think an HHP is like a holistic health something, and then I don't know what AMC, but like those are like actual qualifications. But what I did read that like at least one of the degrees that he says he has, all it takes is $15 online. And you pay, and then you can just say that you have this, and it prints you out like a certificate that says that you completed a course. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I think I should do that.
Yeah, you could. I mean, he did it.
Yeah.
So the bio of him on the website says, and this is like my favorite thing ever, Dr. Malachi A. Love-Robinson is a well-rounded professional that treats and cares for patients using a system of practice that's basis
It's based. It's based.
I'm going to do that again. Dr. Malachi A. Love-Robinson is a well-rounded professional that treats and cares for patients using a system of practice that bases treatment of physiological functions and abnormal conditions on natural laws of governing the human body. Dr. Love-Robinson utilizes physiology, psychology, and mechanical methods such as air, water, light, heat, earth, phototherapy, food and herb therapy, psychotherapy, electrotherapy, physiotherapy, mechanotherapy, naturopathic corrections and manipulations, and natural methods or modalities, together with natural medicines, natural processed foods, and herbs and natural remedies.
Natural processed foods.
Natural processed foods.
Natural
was probably,
processed foods.
That was 2 sentences.
Oh God. Okay, so wow.
Doesn't that sound to you like somebody who was just like trying to meet the word
It's like
count?
the beginning of most resumes.
My qualifications include Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel,
Microsoft PowerPoint.
Literally, it was like he just like Googled like everything except for medical doctor. What are all of the things that you can do as not a medical doctor?
Gosh.
And then just list the air, water, light, heat, earth.
Oh jeez.
And this poor 86-year-old woman fell for this website.
How did she like? She would have been able to go after it. Well, I guess she might not have known that he took the stuff out of her bank account.
Oh, eventually she found out when she was out of the hospital. But this was a month later, so like,
oh my gosh,
that was probably all being processed and everything. But so the grand opening happened in January. But the local West Palm Beach news station finds out that Malachi is the same kid from that St. Mary's incident. So, like, since he was a minor when it happened, when the press released, like, all of this information about a kid impersonating a doctor, they couldn't use his name.
oh,
So when he starts doing it again, this is the only news source that actually connects that it's the same person that opened this business, is the same guy that was impersonating a doctor when he was 17.
oh,
But now he's 18.
right.
So this news station is like, holy shit, he's at it again and way bigger this time. Let's fucking investigate. So they sent an investigative journalist to the New Birth, New Life clinic.
The New Birth, New Life clinic of Jesus.
It's naturopathic medicine.
Yeah.
Using homeopathic remedies.
Using homosexual
Using air,
remedies.
earth, wind, and fire in September.
Dude, I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. Do you remember when you were healthy?
Because you're not going to be anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so they send in a camera crew and this investigative journalist to the clinic for a surprise visit, and the video is so fucking funny because they're just waiting there in this empty office, and there's just like a receptionist desk, and like
no one there, because is it just him? He's just
yeah,
the
it's
only one?
just
Oh my
him.
gosh, it's
So
just
like
him.
he's still setting everything up, and like he's got like signs everywhere, like the New Birth, New Life facility is up. His nameplate is there.
Where did he get money? Well, okay, never mind.
Oh,
we
he
know that.
had an investor, and
What?
he freaking fooled an investor. And
Oh
this
my
this
gosh.
guy, like they interviewed the guy, and he's like, people are like, well, how were you fooled? And I'm like, how was the state of Florida fooled?
Yeah,
Like,
that's very true.
I don't understand, but yeah, this guy lent him some money, and he did use some of the money he stole from that woman to start this facility.
Oh my gosh.
So they're sitting in this office waiting for him, and he walks in with a takeout box, like he's got his lunch, and
Oh no.
it's just like, what's going on here? He's wearing his white coat and his stethoscope,
Oh my gosh.
and he's like, what's happening? I don't understand. But he agrees to an interview because this guy is obsessed with like being in the spotlight.
Yeah, exactly.
So the first thing he does, takes off his stethoscope, takes off his lab coat, and then he's like, sure, we can have an interview.
Okay.
Doesn't want to give the wrong impression that he's posing as a doctor again.
Right, yeah. It was okay. Sure.
So they're like, you're posing as a medical doctor and you're not a medical doctor. And he's like, I'm not posing as a medical doctor. I've never claimed to be a medical doctor. I am a doctor. I do have a doctorate. I've been to 2 colleges, and they're like, what colleges? And he's like, I am not comfortable disclosing that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's like, I have 2 PhDs. And the whole interview goes like that. It's like it's like a back and forth where he'll like, oh yes, this is the new facility, and yep, I practice. Obviously, I won't be practicing. I am, and they're like, are you just the proprietor of the business? And he's like, yes, that is exactly.
Right.
And I will be hiring MDs and other medical professionals to see patients, and I won't be seeing patients myself, obviously, because I'm not a medical doctor. And
Right.
they start like pressing him, and he's like, can you turn off the cameras?
Uh-oh.
So they can't like release what actually happened after that, but he does invite them to come back later. And when they do come back, he's not wearing his medical coat. He's not wearing a stethoscope. There's an actual waiting room and actual equipment in some of his, like, he has actual medical equipment in some of his patients' offices, and he like treats it like this is like, like just a little spot on his new business. And he's like, yep, this is the facility. I welcome you guys in. And it's so fucking funny because they're like, so, you're not a medical doctor. You haven't hired any medical doctors. And he's like, yeah, we've hired some nurses. We have hired some staff. They haven't started yet. The camera just goes over to his nameplate and peels off a piece of tape that's covering MD
Actually, there's just a piece of tape
over the MD part of his nameplate.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like, it says MD on your website. And he was like, oh yeah, they can put whatever they want on there.
What?
He's like, I'm not claiming to be an MD. Somebody else did
else.
that, and they can put whatever they want. It doesn't necessarily.
Oh
People
my
do
gosh.
lie on the internet, like.
Oh my gosh.
But it's all good, right? He's not doing anything illegal. He's just the proprietor of the business. He's not practicing medicine, right?
Yeah. Oh my god.
He said he's not seeing patients. It's not like Anita was a patient that he saw.
Oh my gosh.
But the cops want to make sure that's true.
Yeah.
So February 16th, the Palm Beach Narcotics Task Force and the Florida Department of Health sent an undercover cop to pose as a patient at his facility.
Oh my gosh.
She received a physical exam and advice from, quote, Dr. Love-Robinson. He's arrested immediately.
Yep. There it is.
And the investigative journalist is there covering the whole arrest, and she's like, so do you want to say anything about this? And he's charged with practicing medicine without a license, and the Department of Health serves him a cease and desist and issues a bunch of citations. And while he's being arrested, he tells the camera that he is, quote, offended by the allegations and accusations, and that they will be hearing from his lawyer.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's offended.
Offended. Oh my gosh.
So he got out on $21,000 in bail.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't hurt anyone. The only person he supposedly treated was an undercover cop and sent poor Anita to the hospital. But they don't know that yet.
Yeah, they don't know that yet.
So immediately after he gets out of jail, he calls a press conference in a parking lot, just him and some cameras, and just so he can tell everybody that he's not upset.
Just disappointed?
He's not upset.
Florida PD, I'm not upset. Just disappointed.
How could you do this to me? No.
Oh my gosh.
But he's coming to terms with the allegations, and he just asked everybody to pray for him.
Oh my God. Yeah, he needs some prayers.
His grandfather tells newscasters that, you know, his heart is in the right place, and they all know he's a special kid, and he's just trying to do the right thing.
Oh my gosh, he's very special.
You think he's trying to do the right thing?
I mean, the thing is, like, other than the money that he stole, he hasn't really profited off of it. So he hasn't, like, made money. So it's not about the money yet. So, okay, all right, continue.
Okay, so while he's out on bail in 2016, Malachi was arrested in Virginia after he tried to buy a Jaguar with a stolen credit card.
What the fuck? A Jaguar?
Yep.
Are we talking about the car?
The car.
Okay. I was about to say.
Vehicle, sorry. A Jaguar vehicle.
A Jaguar
He wasn't trying to, you know, I wouldn't put
Jaguar.
it past him.
That was where my mind went initially.
He was trying to buy an...
I was like, okay, so he's a veterinarian now. He's a veterinarian.
It didn't work with people.
Right, so PETA is a lot less threatening.
I don't think that's true.
The Floridians.
He could have just started practicing medicine on a gator.
And then oh my gosh.
Crocodile dentist.
Oh my gosh. He's going to pose with this Jaguar.
He's like, well, didn't work with people. I'm going to buy a jungle cat.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so he's trying to buy the Jaguar vehicle.
Yeah. That's when he gets arrested. And they realize that he's the same person that tried to treat Anita and sent her to the hospital and stole her money.
So they found out about that now.
So he was tried in 2018 for both of those crimes and pled guilty to both charges.
Okay.
He was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison.
What the fuck?
But he was released early for good behavior.
What?
After just 20 months.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So he's like 19 something or like 20 now?
In 2018 he was, wow, I should have done the math there.
No, that's
he
okay.
was 17 in 2014. Add 4 years. He was 21.
21. Okay. 21?
21?
21 years old. Great. So he can legally drink now out of prison.
Oh, God, I hope he takes his medication.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so he was released in 2020. He got a job as a salesman.
2020. This is far too current. Okay.
How do you think his job as a salesman went? Obviously, he didn't go to medical school. And
I think that his job as a salesman went fucking excellent. Because he could fucking sell anything. Okay.
So he was a salesperson for a company that connects shippers with trucking companies.
Okay. So he worked for TQL.
He probably worked for TQL.
Oh my God. Okay, sure.
Because they took over the world.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, of course, he's, all by the book.
Yeah. Okay.
Except that he told everybody to send all of their payments to his personal bank account.
No, what the fuck? And they did it?
Yep.
Why? Why would they do that?
He probably told them that it was his company bank account.
Oh my
and just
God.
gave. So he stole $10,000.
$10,000. Okay.
After just a couple months working there.
I was expecting so much more than $10,000. Not that that's a low amount of money, but still.
So this was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was arrested. Pled guilty. 28 months in prison.
Oh my God.
And
he just can't be stopped.
Yeah, so he's still in prison from as far as I know. Still calling himself Dr. Love. His website for the New Birth, New Life facility is still active.
Yeah, because they can't. Wow. I guess they can't necessarily take it down. Wow.
Yeah. So it brings a whole new meaning to Florida Man.
That is incredible that he was able to do that.
Yeah, so it's just, this is how far confidence can take you.
And that's the message of this podcast.
If you believe in yourself, you can also commit grand theft.
Oh my
And
gosh.
impersonate whomever you would want to impersonate. Go out there.
Put
on a badge. Get your
a
gun.
lab coat. Okay. I don't know which
Call
one's worse.
yourself a police officer.
Okay.
Fight justice.
Now, I want to make it clear the message that we're sending here is not to do that. Don't do those things.
Was
we
sarcasm.
are not responsible for any PH dicks out
Obviously, this is the dumbest thing you could do.
Oh my gosh, that's just incredible, though.
Yeah.
And he's still at large.
And he didn't get to keep the Jaguar.
Didn't get to keep the Jaguar.
And he didn't get a jungle cat either.
He didn't get the girl.
He got the girl in hospice.
Oh my gosh. We need to reach out to Anita. What was her name?
Yeah, Anita.
We need to reach out to Anita. We need to get her on the show. First guest, Anita.
Anita Morrison.
Not to be confused with Alanis Morissette.
Not to be confused with. Yeah.
Isn't it ironic?
Yeah, I didn't know that I'm not a doctor.
Okay, that's awesome. Wow. So that's it?
That's it.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for listening.
You're the best.
All right, bye.
Bye.